Hello, welcome back. Welcome to my kitchen. Come in, sit down, and let me cook for you. I'm Tom, the Sunday Dinner Chef. Let's get started. Okay, we're going to be doing a traditional Sunday dinner that was basically at my house all the time. This is what I remember the most. So I'm going to have some green onions and some baked potatoes. Also, I'm going to do carrots in a little way. I'm going to explain that in a little bit. And we have some cubed beef. Now, that's it. That is cubed up shoulder beef. Good stuff. I'm going to make that with a little bit of gravy. So into the Dutch oven, I got a little butter going and some olive oil. Now that's how I start everything out with. So what I'm going to do is get this good and hot, and I'm going to put the meat into it. A little Tommy spice. Now you know I always spice up my pan first. That seems to get every side of the meat coated. So, and I'll add some more in there. Into the pot goes the beef. And I tell you, it was pretty cold. It was like 40 degrees today, and 45 or something like that. It's a long way from the summertime, which was 118, 120 degrees out here in Las Vegas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this going. I'm going to put the lid on it. Try to brown it up a little bit. You don't have to brown it too much, because once you add some beef stock to it, all that fond that's on the meat usually comes off. So I'm not too worried about that. Now, we got it nice and coated here, and I'm going to be adding in a little bit more butter. Butter helps this to thicken up, because you know what? I'm not going to use any flour or bourbon, with flour and butter. I'm just going to let this thicken up naturally from their own juices and the butter. Now, something like this you can take your time with. Now, I'm going to add in some of my beef broth. This is good stuff. Now, I'm just going to put maybe half in it. I want to cover the top of the meat. Let that cook down, because you know what? The shoulder cut is a very tough cut. So I want to let this cook till it gets a little tender, and then I'm going to add the rest of the beef broth into it. Stir it around a little bit, and here we go. Green onion I'm going to slice up. So what I'm going to be doing here is the green onion is actually going to be in for the baked potatoes. So what I'm doing is I actually have the potatoes in the microwave, because I'm going to be doing them differently. I'm going to be taking the potato, and I'm going to cube it up after it is baked or nuked, however you want to say it. And then I'm going to add the greens into it, the green onions into it. I'm going to mash it up. I'm going to add a little mayo to it to bind it together. And these are going to be done like hash browns, okay? Only with some the potato skins on, and also some green onion. A little Tommy spice to it. I'm going to add the secret ingredient, and I'll show you that later on. Now, for carrots, I figured try something a little different now with the carrots. Now, years ago, I used to make this in the restaurant all the time, but I'm going to be making bourbon and brown sugar carrots, okay? This is going to come out to be like a glaze, and I'll tell you what, it's fantastic. I personally have to be careful with this because of my blood sugar, but Marie is chomping at the bit to give it a try. It's good stuff. All right, what I'm about to do here for these carrots, now it's just a little bit of carrots, it's only 2 small carrots. I'm going to add some Kentucky bourbon, okay, into a little container, probably about 1/4 cup. And then I'm going to be using probably 3, maybe 4 heaping tablespoons of brown sugar, and probably maybe 1.5 tablespoons of butter. But I'm going to be adding butter into it a little bit of water, and that's how it's going to cook. That's how we're going to cook the carrots. So what I did was I mixed everything up into a little bit of a Tupperware container. Got it pretty well mixed in there, and I'm going to pour that over the top of the carrots, and I'm going to put that onto the stove, and it's going to simmer. Just a word of caution. When you're making this right here, you got to pay attention to it, even though you're just simmering it, because it will get candied. Okay? It'll actually almost turn it into brittle type of stuff. So you got to be careful with it. That's why I keep adding the butter to it, stirring it around. It'll adhere to the carrots. Okay, cast irons are out. Putting a little cover on it. Now, I didn't put a tight cover on it. I'll take it off a little bit. Let that breathe a little bit while it's cooking. So, let's see how our meat is doing. That's a hot joker. Okay, we need to go a little bit further with it. Just stir it around a little bit. Like I said, this is a tough cut of beef, so you can let it cook down. Got to have patience with this, but I tell you what, the end results are phenomenal. Okay, potatoes are out of the microwave. And I'm going to get ready to cut these up. Now, here's how I'm going to make these. I'm going to slice them, and they're hot. Good God Almighty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice them, and they're going to go into a stainless steel bowl. And I am going to add in the onion, and I'm going to start mashing it up, leaving the skin on the whole bit. I mean, that's the way I like my potatoes. Leave the skin on, wash them good, a lot of good nutrients in there. But that's the way I like to do. So I'm going to cut these down, and like I said, into a stainless steel bowl with some onion. All right. Okay, added in Tommy Spice. Now what I'm going to do, these are still pretty warm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break these down, mash them down with a heavy slotted spoon. And I'm going to try to incorporate the onion in with the potato, leaving the skins on. Like I said, that's the way I like it. So these are going to be made into some potato pancakes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple different ingredients that you normally wouldn't do. Some people do, but this time here I am going to try something a little different because of... I guess there's an egg shortage or whatever, so I'm going to be adding in mayonnaise for a binder rather than eggs. Okay, so I'm going to still incorporate this, try to pack it down as much as I can, but then I'm going to add in some cheese. And I'm going to add in some cheddar cheese with some Monterey Jack in it, and also I believe there's white cheddar in that blend. This is going to bind everything together. The heat of it is going to, because the potatoes are still warm, going to melt the cheese a little bit and sort of hold it together. All right, I'm going to be adding in 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. Now, this will sort of bring it together. I guess there's some kind of bird flu going on, and out here can't find any eggs, or if you do, they're $7 or $8 a dozen. I'm not going to spend that kind of money for it. Okay, so I'm going to mix these up. I'm going to get the pan is heating up. I'm going to add a little butter and olive oil to the pan, and we're going to get this thing working out. Now, I got a little quiz for you here. Most of these watch my channel all the time, and there's certain ingredients that I use. In this video, what ingredient didn't I use? Leave a comment down in the box below. Okay, use an ice cream scoop and flatten them down with the spatula. Pretty simple. Let them go into the golden brown because basically everything is cooked. The onions will cook up real fast. The potatoes are already done, so yeah, no problem. We're going to be plating this thing pretty soon. All right, we're putting this together here. It's almost dinner time. Unbelievable. Look at the glaze that's in these carrots. Now, these were slow cooked with bourbon, brown sugar, and a lot of butter. It almost like caramel. Tell you what, a fantastic taste. I got to be careful, my blood sugar. Now, the potato pancakes were really crunchy because of the cheese, great flavor in the middle, also with the onions. The meat was just, the beef cubes were just tender, all natural. The gravy, no flours, no nothing, just butter and beef stock. So, all right, with that, ladies and gentlemen, please hit that like and subscribe button. Stay safe, and don't forget, come back next Sunday for another great Sunday dinner at the Sunday Dinner Chef. Take care, everybody.